Alright. So, welcome to the third part of my collaboration. So, where we left off, we looked at Best of James. Now we're going to continue on there. So, here is the next release. Here's Make Someone Happy and Other Thomas Adventures. It originally was released on DVD in March of 2002, but as you can tell, my copy is not the original because Hit Entertainment logo is on the top of the spine. Portrait of Thomas is right there, and it says distributed by Lionsgate, which means it's a 2009 reprint. So, storyteller on here is Alec Baldwin. Yay! Includes Alec Baldwin also narrated season 6 of Thomas and Friends, but this is the season 5 release. We will be looking at the season 6 releases a little bit later. Our story stops are Make Someone Happy, A Big Surprise for Percy, Happy Ever After, Thomas and the Rumors, James and the Trouble with Trees, and Bah! Alright. The bonus features on here are bios of your favorite friends, 2 sing-along songs, and link to official Thomas website. And here's the disc for Make Someone Happy. This is the original Anchor Bay disc, surprisingly, even though the packaging is from Lionsgate. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna put this in here. Alright. So, here's the next one. This is another Best of release. We looked at Best of Thomas and Best of James. Interestingly, this came out on VHS first before Best of Thomas, which is quite unusual, but we're looking at its DVD release. So, here it is right there. This is Best of Percy. I got this in my brother's birthday in 2009. And yet, collector's edition, just like Best of Thomas and Best of James. There is another Best of release that we haven't looked at called Best of Gordon, but that is coming at a much, much, much later part. So, as you can see here, this does have cartoon Percy with that yellow light right there. And it Anchor Bay, which means it's the original release. This release contains around 5 episodes from season 2, 3 episodes. Alright, 1 episode from season 1. 5 episodes from season 2, and 3 of them from season 3. However, most of the stories are narrated by George Carlin, with the exception of one of them. Percy's Ghostly Trick is narrated by George Carlin. A Scarf for Percy is narrated by George Carlin. Percy Takes a Plunge, that is actually narrated by Ringo Starr, who was the original Thomas and Friends narrator in the UK from 1984 to 1986, and in the US from 1989 to 1990. If you can recall that correctly.
Yep, right.
And speaking of Ringo Starr, there was a time where I was given a where my parents said that there was a chance that I could have like talked to him at the radio at my radio show and telling him why I love Ringo as the narrator because he was my all-time favorite. This was originally supposed to happen, but because Ringo Starr was too busy, he couldn't come here in time, and it never happened. I don't know, famous people are just sometimes difficult to contact because they're very busy at that time. Alright, Percy Takes a Plunge, narrated by Ringo Starr. Percy's Predicament, narrated by George Carlin. Thomas Percy in the Mail Train, narrated by George Carlin. Percy Runs Away, narrated by George Carlin. Percy and the Signal, narrated by George Carlin. Percy Proves a Point, narrated by George Carlin. And Percy's Promise, narrated by George Carlin. So yeah, pretty much almost all of them, with the exception of one, are narrated by George Carlin. Alright, so, yep. Bonus features on here are Henry and the Elephant read-along story, bios of your favorite friends, 2 sing-along songs, 2 exclusive fun-filled DVD games, Best of Percy trivia, and memory fun, website fun, and a 12-page commemorative booklet. And here's the disc for Best of Percy. This did not come with the booklet, apparently. So, that is pretty much it for Part 3. Stay tuned for Part 4 coming pretty soon.